Okay, in today's video, I'm going to show you how are we going to delete a record from a MySQL database. So basically, we have the same procedure and how are we going to delete a record and with the update record. Okay, so first is we're going to show you a form, then ask the user on how are we going, if the user wants to continue with the delete operations, and if ever it is the user is going to answer yes, then we are going to delete the record, else we are going to cancel the operation. Okay, so basically the same. But first, I'm going to show you on how are we going to have our PHP. Okay. Okay, so we are going to define here our delete function. Okay. Then we have our connections, then for the JSON, then for our delete. Okay, so take note of our statement. So delete from TBL context, then our constraint. So still, we are going to delete a single record. Okay, and that is going to be defined by the contact ID. Okay. Now, if ever you are going to forget the constraint, what will happen is that this statement is going to delete all contacts from .tbl context, or it is going to delete all records from the table. Okay, so we're just going to use here a parameter, a name parameter with the ID. Okay, so then we have here our prepare, then we have the bind parameter. Okay, the parameter submitted from the client, then we have assigned it here on our ID. Okay. Then we have the execute, then the validation. If the row count is greater than 0, then the last is we're going to return. Okay. So save. Then next is for our front end. And by the way, going back to our PHP, so after I have defined here my delete function, then we have here our case delete statement. Okay, case delete, then it is going to call the delete function. Okay. Okay, so next is in our, when the user is going to click on the delete button. Okay, so we are just going to show delete form, and still we're going to pass the index. Okay, but show delete form is not yet created, so therefore I say it is not yet defined. Okay, so what are we going to do is we're going to define here a void, then show delete form. Then we have the index. Okay, so actually they are almost the same, so I'm just going to copy the show dialog. Then I'm going to paste it here. Okay, although we don't need the form anymore, so therefore I'm just going to delete all of these. Okay, and also with our text form fields, so I'm going to delete all of these. Then no more form. I'm not going to use any forms. I'm going to remove the form. So what is left now is we have here our column. Okay. And for the children, since what we're going to do here is we are just going to ask the user if he really wants to delete the record. Okay. So we're just going to use here a text for the content. Then I'm going to ask, are you sure you want to delete? We're going to display the name, contacts list, then we have the index, that name. Okay, we're going to enclose it with a curly brace. Okay. Save. Then here we're going to say delete and cancel. Okay, so I'm going to try it first. Okay, so I have here delete. Click. Okay, are you sure you want to delete Bongbong Marcos? So cancel. How about Pablo? Are you sure you want to delete Pablo? So when the user clicks on delete, that's the time that we are going to delete the record. Okay, so I'm going to create here just like with other ones. I'm going to copy this one here. Instead of update, I'm going to use delete. Okay, copy, then paste. Okay, so instead update, I'm going to use delete. Okay, now instead the contact, since I don't need, the only thing that I need now is actually the ID, the primary key. Again, what I need is the contact ID, so it is an integer. Okay, so that's why I'm here, int, then contact ID. Okay, still I'm going to have the contacts. Then instead we're going to use the class contact. We are going to create here a map ID, then the value passed or submitted or passed to this method. Okay, so instead of update, we're going to use delete, then return. Okay, so the same with our previous with our update. Okay, so once it is returned, then we are going to validate here. Okay, so we are going to validate if the delete, okay, again, it could only be either 1 or 0. Okay, so that's why here we are going to validate if delete, then we're going to pass our ID. Okay, so the ID here is, we have okay here, int ID is equal to contacts list, then the given index that ID. Okay, so we're just going to have here an assertion that it is not null. Okay, so next is we're going to pass delete, then we're going to pass the defined ID there. There's an error. If ID is equal to 1. Now, if delete is equal to 1, then we are going to display the record has been deleted. So again, we must have to, since this is a future, delete is actually a future, so therefore we are going to again await and await. So we have here, okay, so we have an async keyword. Okay, so next, so we are going to close navigator.pop, then the current context. Then to update our contacts list, no, it's equal to await get contacts. Then a blank set state, then show message box. Okay, current context, then I'm just a bit here, deleted. Then for the content, successfully deleted. Okay, then we're going to have or else delete failed. Okay, delete. Okay, so as you can see, again, the procedure for the delete is just the same with the update function. Okay, so we have here delete. Contacts. Okay, so let us try. So save, then reload. Okay, let us say I'm going to delete pitok. So are you sure you want to delete pitok B? Then click on delete. Record has been successfully deleted. Okay, and pitok is not here anymore. Okay, so how about ChatGPT? So delete. Are you sure you want to delete? Yes. It's been successfully deleted. So ChatGPT has been deleted from the record. Okay. So as a recap, first is we have opened, where is it? Okay, this is the update. So we have opened the delete form. Okay, show delete form and passing there the index, okay, of the current record. Then show delete form. So first we have generated the ID. The ID is actually the auto increment column. Okay. Then we have the context and so on. Then the title for delete. Then instead of trying to display, now it is, if ever the requirement says display first all data for this record before asking for the deletion of the record, so you could just actually follow this one here, the show, not the update, but the show update form. Okay, just follow this one here, but it should not be text form field, but it should be only text field. Okay, so that is to display the data and at the end ask the user if he wants to delete the record. So what I did here is just to ask the user if he wants to delete the name, okay, the given name. And if ever the user says yes, okay, so on press, so it is going to call the delete function. So here are delete function, okay, we passed only the ID. Why only the ID? It is because that is the only thing needed by our delete function here. The bind parameter that we have is only the ID. Okay, then it's submitted. Then depends if ever something has been deleted, so it could be 1 or 0. Then if it is equal to 1, then we are going to close the alert dialog. Then we retrieve the new value or the new number of records from our contacts table, then redraw the UI, then display our message box. Okay, and by the way, when we click any of these, when we click here, this is going to close. How about if ever that I don't want I want the user only to click on cancel so that this dialog box would be closed. Okay, because as of now, as I'm going to click on the gray area, so it will be automatically closed even though with the update. Click, okay, then click here outside, then it's going to be closed. So by the way, the name for the black item here or the gray here is barrier. Okay, so we are going to define our show dialog. This is delete. Okay, I'm just going to have it here. Barrier dismissible. Actually, you could change also the color, and what I'm going to show you only is we have the dismissible. Meaning, is it dismissible if ever that you're going to click on the barrier? By default, it is true. So what we're going to do, we're going to set it to false. Okay. If you want to change the color, then you could change the color. Barrier color. So it is going to ask for a color. Okay. So in your case, you're just going to change it to whatever color that you want. And in my case, I'm just going to leave the gray color. So reload. Okay. Update. Click outside. Then as you can see, it is not the dialog box isn't closed. It is going to close only when I click on cancel or delete. Okay. So that's how are we going to perform delete. So basically, again, delete and update or the procedure are basically the same. Okay, so that's all for this video, and I'll see you on the next one.